Hi and welcome everyone to another video. My name is Denis and today I'm going to show you my team selection for Game Week 15 of FPL, so let's just jump straight into it. Okay guys, now before talking about how my team is going to look like for Game Week 15, I want to discuss a little bit Game Week 14 and how it went for me. What a crazy game week, right? As you can see from my screen, currently I'm on 73 points with one player left to play, who's going to be Bruno Fernandes, who's also going to play tonight against West Ham at home. So let's see obviously if Bruno Fernandes is going to feature in that game, but yeah, maybe we're going to get something from there. As you can see from the screen, currently I'm on a strong solid green arrow from 360k to 235k. This is my best overall rank this season, so we're clearly moving into the right direction. This is not the place I want to be, but we're getting closer and closer to that top 100k position, which is going to be a really nice position to be in, but we're moving into the right direction, which is good. Now real short, last game week I transferred out Senesi to buy Lacroix, and I also sold Reinders to Anderson, and also Reinders, of course, he just decided to score right after I sold him. So yeah, real fun there. But this game week is going to be all about my defense. As you can see from the screen, it was incredible. Raya with a 6-pointer with a clean sheet, Munoz, Lacroix, both of them got a clean sheet against Burnley, so really happy to have both of them for the future. Munoz got a goal, Lacroix got defensive contribution, so 14 points for Munoz, 8 points for Lacroix. And also Virgil van Dijk, it is a shame that he didn't completed the set with just 4 points, but at least he got defensive contribution. So again, it's all about my defense. They got me a lot of points. Now to be honest with you, I'm not fully happy with this gaming. I just think that it could have been so much better, which is weird to say because I think that a lot of people had really crazy gamings. A lot of important players were benched, Bukayo Saka, Timber, a lot of other things happened, and honestly I feel really lucky that none of my players were benched this gaming yet. Let's see if Bruno Fernandes is going to play, but I just feel like I was really that close, just a touch, to have an incredible gaming. Because for an example, if any of my midfielders would have done something, maybe one or maybe two, we would be talking about a 990 point or something like that gaming in gaming 14, and that would have been incredible. But as you can see from the screen, Semenyo got defensive contributions. We're going to talk a lot about Semenyo in the next part. 4 points. Anderson, the week I bought him, he decided to not get Defcon. He got just 5. He got a yellow card, so just 2 points against Wolverhampton, but fair enough. Wolverhampton were really bad, so that's also a reason why Anderson didn't get a lot of defensive contributions. Njae, just 3 points against Bournemouth, and Minte also with some chances missed, and he also got just 2 points. So really not that great my midfield. The same could be said about the attack. Mateta with another disappointment, 2 points. He just played 65-70 minutes, something like that in this gaming. So yeah, we're going to talk also about Mateta. Erling Haaland, really happy at the end that I've gone with the captaincy. I was 100% sure I was going to captain Erling Haaland against Fulham away. Now again, maybe a lot of people are going to be unlucky if they captain other players like Bruno Fernandes, like Bukayo Saka, but we all know honestly that Erling Haaland can do that, and probably I know that better than anyone else, right? In gaming 13, I used my triple captainship on Erling Haaland when he played against Leeds at home, and he got just 2 points for me on my triple captaincy. And now in gaming 14 against Fulham, he decided to score again, 28 points. Really happy with the captaincy. Maybe a little bit harsh for those people who gone against him, because on paper Fulham wasn't such an easy fixture, but to be honest with you, if you watch the game, I think that Erling Haaland hit the post 2 times, so it could have been way more points for Erling Haaland, and honestly I feel a little bit unlucky for him to not get more returns in that game. But I'm happy overall with my gaming. Let's see what Bruno Fernandes is going to get me, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to be on a green arrow, and we are moving into the right direction. Now let's move to see my team for gaming 15. Okay guys, now let's start and show you how my team is going to line up for gaming 15 of Fantasy Premier League, and we're going to start with my defense. Raya is going to be in goal, who's going to play against Aston Villa away. My second goalkeeper is Dubravka, who's also having a tricky fixture against Newcastle away, so no questions here for me. Raya is going to be in goal. Talking about other Arsenal defenders, this is a week where I'm really happy to go against Arsenal, and we're going to talk also about my chip strategy. But if you follow this channel, you know that my plan currently is to use my free in gaming 16, so I'm happy to go against Arsenal players for the next gaming in gaming 15. In gaming 16 I'm going to have a lot of Arsenal players, obviously, when they are going to play against Wolverhampton, and then I'm going to buy some with when we're going to have 5 free transfers after gaming 16. Now Raya is going to be my goalkeeper. On honestly, again, this is not a great fixture. So if I had a better goalkeeper, I would love to play him instead of Raya. But having one Arsenal defender at the moment feels like a really good idea. And who knows, maybe Raya is going to make some saves also in this game week, and I can totally see a clean sheet for Arsenal. They could keep a clean sheet against anyone, although they have a lot of injuries at the moment, and that's also a thing putting me off buying more Arsenal defenders. Now, my backline is Munoz, Lacroix, Virgil van Dijk. Really happy to have Munoz and Lacroix, obviously for Game Week 14 when they play against Burnley. Now, this is going to be a much more trickier fixture, I think. On paper, Fulham away is not an easy fixture. I'm not 100% sure Crystal Palace are going to keep a clean sheet in this fixture, but with someone like Munoz, I don't really have any problems. He's really attacking. He scored 2 goals in the last 3 game weeks. He's obviously decent for defensive contributions, and if Crystal Palace are going to keep a clean sheet, that's perfectly fine. As you can see, my other bench players, bench defenders are Rodon, who are going to play against Liverpool, and Alderete, who are going to play against Man City away. So again, I'm going to start these 3 defenders. Really happy to have going forward Lacroix and Munoz. They're going to play against City also in game week 16, but I'm going to use my free hit in that week, and then I'm going to have them again in game week 17 when both of them are going to play against Leeds. So hopefully this strategy is going to work well. And yeah, overall really happy I bought Lacroix. Again, I thought also about buying someone like Timber, which is good. I didn't do that transfer. I also thought about buying someone like Van Heck to just score the brace. So yeah, a lot of options are going to do well. Really happy with Lacroix. Also, he's good for defensive contributions. I think that he's the best defender from Crystal Palace for defensive contributions, so don't really mind playing them against Fulham away. If we look at last season, Crystal Palace destroyed Fulham in all the fixtures they played. Now, that doesn't really mean anything this season. Fulham, I can totally see them scoring, but really happy to have them also. Now, with Virgil van Dijk, it is a tricky player, because if you don't have Virgil van Dijk, I just don't think that I would recommend you to buy him. But if you're an owner, if you have Virgil van Dijk into your team, I just think that you're not forced to sell him. Again, if you want to make some moves, if you want to downgrade someone like Virgil van Dijk to a Van Heck, to an Anderson, to upgrade in midfield, to upgrade in attack, then that's perfectly reasonable. But if not, the fixtures are pretty decent for Liverpool for the next 3, 4, 5 fixtures. So I just don't think that's a rush to sell Virgil van Dijk. I'm going to think about that after game week 17, maybe, where I'm going to look to buy some Arsenal defenders. But until that, I'm really happy to have him. Again, Liverpool are not back. They kept the clean sheet against West Ham, but they looked really bad yesterday against Sunderland at home. Again, are they going to keep a clean sheet against Leeds away? I'm not sure. I could not tell you. But Virgil van Dijk, he has good attacking threat from set pieces. He had a chance also last night. If he was scoring that game, we would be looking at 10 pointer, something like that for Van Dijk, and maybe we would think a little bit different. So yeah, overall really happy with my defense. I have one free transfer, and as you can see, I used it, and probably you know which player I transfer in. So let's move to my midfield. All right, guys, now moving to my midfield. Yes, you guessed it, Phil Foden is in. I made this move last night, and is it a little bit knee-jerky? Yes, of course it is. You could say that. Is it a little bit of a knee-jerk? Because considering Foden got 2 mega holes in the last 2 game weeks, let me just put it that way. But honestly, trust me guys, I thought about different midfielders. I thought about a lot of different options, because I wasn't 100% sure I want to get Phil Foden because of the rotation, because of all different stuff. But at the end of the day, Semenyo was dropping in price, and honestly I just wanted to get rid of Semenyo, and I bought him Phil Foden last night. Now he's going to play against Sunderland at home. The other midfielders I thought about were someone like Bukayo Saka, who also was bench midweek. We can also not really trust his minutes, but can we trust the minutes for Phil Foden to be better than Bukayo Saka? Probably not. I thought also about going for someone like Gakpo, who was just subbed off yesterday when Liverpool played against Sunderland. I thought also about keeping Semenyo and just maybe upgrading someone like Rodon or Alderete to an Arsenal defender, but at the moment I don't really want to go for an Arsenal defender. I want to go against them, as I said before, in this fixture at least, until game week 17 at least, because I'm going to have Arsenal players on my free in game week 16. So I ended up on Phil Foden, who's going to play against Sunderland at home. Manchester City are going to play against Real Madrid in the Champions League. So There is a chance, obviously, Phil Foden is going to be rotated, but with my strategy, because I'm going to free it in game week 16, probably I'm not going to have Foden against Crystal Palace, and the fixtures for Man City are really good before and after that. In game week 15, they're going to play against Sunderland, and in game week 17, I'm going to have Foden back against West Ham. So the fixtures are really good for Manchester City in general. They are a great team. They are scoring a lot of goals, and yeah, maybe he's going to be a rotation risk, let's say, Phil Foden, but from game week 4, he played all the games pretty much close to 90 minutes every game week. So I just suppose that we should consider Phil Foden pretty much nailed. Again, we're talking about Man City midfielders, and I'm not really a fan of going for a lot of Man City midfielders because you could never know when they're going to play. But I ended up on Phil Foden. Hopefully, it's going to be okay. His price is also going to rise probably again tonight. So again, I wanted to get him at least now to avoid those price rises because I got a lot of drops and I'm not really happy about that. My other midfielders for game week 15 are Minte, Bruno Fernandes and Unjae. Now with Minte, really happy to have him against West Ham at home, a really nice fixture. Hopefully he's going to get on that score sheet or at least get me some assist or defensive contributions. Bruno Fernandes against Wolverhampton away. Let's see if he's going to play. Probably when you're seeing this video, probably you know if Bruno Fernandes is going to start tonight against West Ham or not. But either way, I think that he's going to be fine for Wolverhampton away. So I'm just going to keep him. And Unjae, a player who's going to go to the African Cup of Nations. If I had more transfers, I would consider selling also someone like Unjae. But this is going to be the last gaming probably for Unjae in my team. And Nottingham Forest at home is such not a bad fixture. He's on penalties, he has good minutes, so although he wasn't really amazing, him and Minte in the recent weeks, I really trust him and I think that he could be decent. We know that he's decent for defensive contributions and all that good stuff. And my fifth midfielder is Anderson, who's going to play against Everton away. So Anderson currently, he's my 8th attacker and I want to rotate him depending on the fixtures. Now again, there is a way when Anderson is going to start in my team, and let's move to the forwards and try to explain that. Okay guys, now you can see my whole team. So my forward line is Mateta against Fulham away, Erling Haaland against Sunderland at home, and Thiago against Tottenham away currently. So at the moment, this is how I'm lining up for Game Week 15 of Fantasy Premier League. Erling Haaland, I'm not going to discuss too much about him. He's going to be my captain. If you still have the triple captaincy chip available, this fixture against Sunderland at home and in Game Week 17 against West Ham at home, both of them are good for the triple captaincy. And as you saw for me, my triple captain Haaland against Leeds in Game Week 13, and he blanked. He just scored a mega haul against Fulham away. So it's just you need to have a little bit of luck with the triple captaincy chip. So if you want to play this week, I don't really mind it. But Sunderland honestly probably are a better defense than West Ham. So Haaland is going to be my captain. I'm not going to think anymore about that. Mateta against Fulham away. Thiago against Tottenham away. With Thiago, again, he was benched against Arsenal. He had maybe some injury problems and also maybe it was also a little bit tactical, but honestly for me it was not such a bad outcome because obviously I didn't want to play him anyway against Arsenal, and I think that he's going to came straight in that starting 11 against Tottenham away. So probably Thiago also is going to play for me. A really good striker on penalties. The fixtures long term are amazing for Thiago. Everybody's going to want him into their teams, so really happy with him. Now Mateta is another concern for me. The minutes are just not great for him, but again, a lot of people are thinking about selling him, and again, for reasonable reasons, I would say. But again, 3, 4, 5 game weeks ago, Jean-Philippe Mateta was an essential striker, the best in the league after Erling Haaland. And right now, everybody thinks that he's a wash player or something like that. So I just don't think that's the case. But again, obviously, a lot of people are reacting like that. The minutes are not great. I'm going to be honest here. I think that at some point, I'm going to need to sell Mateta. But yeah, for me, it's not going to be this week. I'm not going to use a hit to sell Mateta. He's still on penalties. He's still starting for Crystal Palace. Yeah, the minutes are not amazing. He could be benched maybe in some games, and Ketia could play, but I'm just not seeing him at the moment. The problem with Crystal Palace in general is that they have a really tough schedule. They have a lot of fixtures to play in the cups in Europe, and the days between games are just real few. So. And also Oliver Glasner, he plays pretty much the same 11 every game week, and that's going to impact the fitness of the players pretty much. So yeah, not good to have Mateta, but Fulham away, definitely not a great fixture, but I don't mind. If I need to play Mateta, if I going to trust him that is going to start, yeah, no problem with that. In Game Week 16, I'm going to ship him out on my fleet, and then in Game Week 17, Crystal Palace are going to play against Leeds. So I really need to see if I want to keep him for that fixture against Leeds. If I think that he's going to be benched in that game, then I'm just going to sell him in Game Week 17. But that's a thing to think a little bit more later. So yeah, this is how my team is currently lining up. I made one free transfer. I sold Semenyo to Foden. I have 2.2 millions in the bank. Next game week, I'm going to use my free. And also another thing, if I think that the minutes for someone like Mateta are not going to be amazing, I could just play someone like Anderson, who is pretty much pretty guaranteed to start and play 90 minutes for Nottingham Forest, decent for defensive contributions. Hopefully it's going to be better this gaming. So I have that option also to play someone like Anderson instead of Mateta, instead of Thiago. But otherwise, this is how my team is going to line up for Game Week 15. I'm going to captain Haaland. Now let's move and also show you how my team is going to look like in the next few gaming. Alright guys, now real short, in the last part of the video, I want to talk to you and show you my plans and strategies for the next few gamings. This is my team for Game Week 15 as I showed you in my team selection. If we move to Game Week 16, this is how my team is going to look like. And also guys, remember, you need to make all of your free transfers before Game Week 15 deadline. If you're not going to make those transfers, you're going to lose them, because in Game Week 16 everybody is going to have 5 free transfers given up from the Fantasy Premier League. So thanks a lot for that. Now this is how my team is going to look like for Game Week 16. By the way, I have just one player who's going to go to the African Cup of Nations, so definitely I don't think that this giving up of 5 free transfers what's necessary, but it is interesting and we're going to take that opportunity, right? So this is my team: Munoz against Man City, Mateta against Man City, Alderete, Njae, Anderson, Foden, Haaland against Crystal Palace away. So now you know why I'm going to use my fleet in Game Week 16. This is how it works best for my team, because I think that my team doesn't really look great. Even someone like Virgil van Dijk is going to play against Brighton. The only player who I would be really happy having also on a free probably are Raya, Thiago, and that's it probably. Now again, I'm not going to discuss today about how my team is going to look like on a free in Game Week 16, but for sure I'm going to do my free draft after the Game Week 15 deadline. So here again, I'm going to have 5 free transfers, but I don't think that's necessary to use all of them to just make my team look better and use a free elsewhere. So definitely I'm going to use my free in Game Week 16. If we move to Game Week 17, remember guys, I'm still going to have my 5 free transfers. The only worry for me is that maybe a lot of people are going to use a lot of transfers and some players might rise up in price and drop down in price. So hopefully that's not going to affect me that much. But yeah, this is how my team would look like. And I would have Munoz, Lacroix, Mateta, all 3 of them if they're going to be fit and available. Really happy to have them against Leeds away, although it's not such an easy fixture. At Elland Road, Leeds are a really strong side. Virgil van Dijk against Tottenham probably would be starting here. Foden, Haaland against West Ham at home. Bruno Fernandes, Minte against Sunderland, Thiago against Wolverhampton away. So now you know why I'm using my free in Game Week 16. My team looks great before Game Week 16 and after Game Week 16. And yeah, the only thing here, obviously I would have 5 free transfers, so I would be forced pretty much to use some. Here again, I would be looking to buy in maybe some Arsenal players, right? Maybe an Arsenal defender, maybe someone like Bukayo Saka. But at the moment, currently, I'm just going to monitor the situation for Bukayo Saka. At the moment, I'm just not sure if I trust him enough. He's 10.1 million, so he's an expensive player, right? And he's not playing every game. So again, because Saka was benched in midweek, we can assume that maybe it's going to happen more in the future, obviously depending on how many minutes he's going to play in the Cups, in the Champions League. So again, if I want Bukayo Saka here, I could sell Njay, probably is a player I'm going to sell, right? Because he's going to go to AFCON, and I will need to find 1.5 millions. Now, at the moment, I could do that by downgrading someone like Virgil van Dijk. And again, probably the prices are probably I'm not going to afford to make these moves, right? In Game Week 17, a lot of people are going to make a lot of transfers, and I'm going to have 4.5 millions because I also sold Semenyo last night. Now, what I can do is to buy someone like Anderson instead of Van Dijk. and buy Bukayo Saka that way. So this is a possibility. Used to two of my transfers to have Anderson against Forest at home and Saka against Everton away. So I'm not sure if I'm going to buy Bukayo Saka. Now, if we move back to Gaming 17, I'm going to have 2.2 millions in the bank. And let's say if I want to buy an Arsenal defender, it could be Timber. Probably not going to go for Timber at the moment, because as for Bukayo Saka, we saw that he was banned. So again, it could happen in the future, and I knew always that this was a true possibility. So let's say I'm going to go for Saliba if Gabriel is not going to be fit, and I could do that by selling Rodon, and that would leave me with 0.3 millions in the bank. Now again, Unjae is also a player probably I'm willing to sell, because probably he's not going to be playing in the Premier League in Gaming 17 if he's going to go to the AFCON. Soboslai, Enzo, Barnes. Again, I'm going to think what I'm going to do in that fixture. I could even go for someone like Semenyo, but obviously I don't have the money. So yeah, really happy with my forward line: Haaland, Thiago, Mateta. Mateta is also a player, as I said before, if he's not looking like he's going to play against Leeds away, it could be a really easy way out of Mateta. Just go for someone like Guyu here, save up the cash, have 3.9 millions in the bank also by buying Saliba, and I could also do Njaya to Saka. Now, and also that would leave him with 0.3 millions in the bank. So that makes also a lot of sense, honestly. So that would be Rodon to Saliba, Mateta to Guyu, and Njaya to Bukayo Saka if I still want to go for Bukayo Saka. So again, a lot of things could happen in the next few gamings, but this is how my plans are at the moment. I don't want to use all of my 5 free transfers. If possible, I would use just 2 and then try to stack up to have 4 or 5 free transfers every gaming. That would be really helpful. Again, some other options, maybe someone like Cunha, maybe someone like Gakpo are going to be decent options in Gaming 17, but we need to see what's going to happen. We need to see if I want to keep Virgil van Dijk, because after the Tottenham game in Gaming 17, they're going to have 2 back-to-back home games against Wolverhampton at home and Leeds at home. So that's also a reason I want to keep pretty much Van Dijk till that. But that's the thing, probably to think a little bit more later in the season after a few gamings. Thanks a lot for watching this video. Hopefully it wasn't too long. If you enjoyed it, please consider leaving a like, hit that subscribe button if you're new around here, and I'm going to see you next time. Bye. Apoi în bag gura lor